Guys, it is time for tea. That's right, this week's recipe is all about the British favourite, a good old mug of tea. I'm working with Typhoo Tea to discover which type of tea is my favourite, and I'm going to show you something a little bit different. Anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely love tea. My boyfriend will wake me up in the morning with a mug of tea. I will go to bed late night with a mug of tea. Last night I got home from Lisbon on holiday about midnight, and the first thing I did when I got home, unpack? No, make a cup of tea. Relax with tea, it's my favourite thing in the world. So, today I'm going to show you something a little different though. I'm going to use tea in an amazing recipe, which I hope you'll make. It's super, super easy. It needs almost no equipment whatsoever, just a balloon whisk. It's a no-churn chai tea ice cream using Typhoo tea.
Because this is such a simple recipe, you're only going to need a couple of ingredients. What you're going to need is some double cream, some condensed milk, some light brown sugar, some fresh ginger, a mixture of spices, a little bit of vanilla bean paste, and of course some Typhoo tea. So, to make this recipe, the first thing we need to do is make an infusion of all our tea and our spices into our cream. So what we're going to do is we're going to add everything to the pan, bring that to a boil, turn the heat off, put the lid on and set that aside for an hour, a couple of hours, just until that's really infused all of its flavour into that cream, and then chill that until it's really nice and cold. But first things first, we need to work on the spices. So we're going to take our cinnamon, just break that so it crumbles a little bit, and then we're going to take our whole spices, add those to a spice grinder. If you don't have a spice grinder, you can obviously just use a mortar and pestle, just give it a good bash up, and then we're going to put that into the grinder. Don't worry too much about grinding the spices into a really fine powder. We just need it to kind of break the spices apart so that as it sits in the cream, it really infuses properly. Otherwise, we end up with a slightly flatter flavour. So just a quick blast in the grinder or a quick bash in a mortar and pestle. Now we can add our ground spices to the pan, along with our light brown sugar. It's just a little bit of sugar, just helps to bring out the flavours in the spices. And then some chopped fresh ginger. If you don't have fresh ginger, you can use ground ginger, but it will be a little bit more spicy rather than that really nice warming flavour you get from the fresh ginger. And then we're just going to add a little bit of the vanilla bean paste. And then we're going to add our tea bags. So it's just 4 Typhoo tea bags. I'm using a really nice black tea because that's the kind of classic tea you would use in a chai tea, and it really carries through those spices and really marries really beautifully to get a really nice flavour. Then we're going to add our cream and put that on the heat and bring that to a really nice boil. Once the cream has come to a boil, just want to do one last thing. We're going to take the tea bags and just gently press them against the side of the pan, which will extract as much of that tea flavour as possible. If the bag bursts, don't worry at all because we're going to strain out later, so it really doesn't matter. Then what you want to do is pop a lid on the pan and set that aside for a while. I like to leave it between 2 and 3 hours, just enough time to extract all of the flavour from the tea and the spices. And then that just needs to chill in the fridge until it's really cold, because we're going to whip it, and you can't whip double cream until it's really nice and cold. That's the bulk of the recipe done now, so the hard bit is done. The rest takes a little bit of resting time and a tiny bit of whipping, but enjoy the work, get a cup of tea and just chill out for a bit whilst your cream chills too. So now that our cream has nicely chilled, we can get on with turning that into an ice cream. So all we're going to do is take our condensed milk, pour that into one bowl, and then we're going to strain the cream, and then we're going to whip that and fold the two mixtures together. So the cream will be a little thicker than normal, and you'll have all those spices and tea bags in there, so you just want to strain all of that off. Again, pressing onto the tea bags just to extract all the tea flavour, make sure you're getting every last little bit so that the ice cream really tastes amazingly of chai tea. So when you're whipping the cream, don't whip it till it's really, really firm peaks because you'll find it hard to fold through into the condensed milk. So just whip it until it's nice and stiff, but only just, because that way it will still have some fluidity and it'll be much easier to fold together. So when our cream is nice and stiff, we can then start folding that through in 3 additions into our condensed milk. So the first third, we're not worrying too much about keeping the air in the cream. We just want to lighten the condensed milk. So just fold that through until that's nicely combined. There's no streaks remaining. And then we can add the second 2/3 and just fold that together as well. So once the ice cream is whipped, we can pour that into a dish and then freeze that. If you've got a dish with a lid, pop that on. If not, just cover it in cling film, and that way it'll prevent the ice cream from getting crystals. And then pop it in the freezer for about 4 hours, and then you'll have amazing ice cream. There's a little added extra. We're just gonna dust top of the ice cream with some ground cinnamon, mainly for decoration, but also just a little boost in flavor as well. So that is how you make my super easy no churn chai tea ice cream. It's a really simple and utterly delicious way of using tea in a slightly different and unusual way. All that remains is to scoop and try the ice cream. So the ice cream is really nice and soft. It has an amazing texture. The condensed milk makes it super smooth. It has a really nice warming spice flavor from all those chai spices. And of course, there's that ever-present beautiful tea flavor. It's just a really simple, delicious recipe, and I really hope you give it a go. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell button to receive the videos as soon as they arrive, and leave me a comment down below if there's anything you want to see in an upcoming video. For now, I'm gonna go finish this ice cream.